Did you know that in old versions of Minecraft Beta from 2010 and 2011, you could glitch chests together to get additional storage space? You could take 1.8 gigabyte size screenshots 10 times the quality of 4K. You could use exploits to mine faster, teleport through blocks, have infinite inventory space, create completely hidden traps with exploitable dispensers, crash the game in various ways, milk squids? Yeah, that one too. Today, we'll go back and investigate some of the strangest Minecraft bugs and exploits that only existed in old Minecraft Beta versions. Back when Minecraft Beta 1.1 first released in December of 2010, players who updated the game and eagerly opened it to see what was new would be greeted with this: a Minecraft Ghost menu. If you blindly entered the game, you would find that it wasn't just the menus that were missing, but all the fonts and text in the game. 10 minutes after Beta 1.1 was released, Notch would re-upload Beta 1.1 to fix this problem, as he had forgot to include the font.txt file, which is why the text was invisible. However, Notch also forgot to include the font.txt file in the re-uploaded version, and had to re-upload it but a third time, now known as Beta 1.1 version 1, which finally fixed the issue. Multiplayer also had a lot of unique bugs at the time due to it being relatively new to the game. One such bug in early beta was the fact that on servers, blocks such as chests and crafting benches could not be interacted with if you didn't have an item in your hand. This was promptly patched in Beta 1.1 version 2. Saddles on pigs also behaved extremely weirdly in multiplayer servers, where you would technically be riding them on your screen, but not from the server's point of view, allowing for some strange behavior. In Beta 1.2, a strange but very useful bug in Minecraft existed. There was a technique known as click mining, where players could click to mine and then release their left click before the block was mined to break blocks faster. Let me show you how it worked. Right here I've mined 4 stone blocks the normal way by just holding left click, and this is how long it took. Now I'm going to do the click mining method to do the same thing, and would you look at that, it's faster. Basically what I'm doing is right after I finish destroying a block, I release and then quickly click left click again, which destroys the next blocks quicker. Because you let go of left click and then start clicking again, the game doesn't apply the block breaking delay it normally would when you hold down left click to break blocks. What's even better is that this method worked on multiplayer servers as well. In Beta 1.3, the block breaking delay was changed from triggering after you destroyed a block to before you broke a block, thus patching the bug on multiplayer only. However, players at the time loved click mining so much and actually ended up creating mods that would still allow click mining to work up until multiplayer in the later beta versions. In likely the strangest Beta 1.2 bug, squids could be milked with a bucket like cows and would actually give you milk. This was first reported in a thread on the Minecraft forums, where a user would post a segment of the squid's code, and just a day later, a video would be uploaded demonstrating that fact. Now, the reason this bug even exists in the first place is somewhat funny. It's due to Jeb adding the squid to the game, being the first mob he would ever add to Minecraft. He copied the code of the cow and changed the model, but forgot to remove the code involving milking, leaving this oops comment on the original thread a couple days later. Squids being able to be milked was a joke amongst the game's early players, with many actually upset that it was removed not long after. But Jeb wasn't the only one who left code in the game that shouldn't be there, and in Minecraft Beta 1.2 version 2, if you clicked shift and then F2, you would experience these weird graphical glitches for 5 or so seconds and then end up with a huge 1.8 gigabyte screenshot in your .minecraft folder. Yep, that's right, a 1.8 gigabyte screenshot that I can't even open up normally and took paint.net an entire minute to open. The screenshot is in exceptionally high quality, being 36,450 by 17,700 resolution. I mean, you can't even see any pixels here, it's super smooth. This was unfinished test code left in the game by Notch that would be removed later in Beta 1.5. It's too bad the player from this famous old Minecraft video wasn't playing in Beta 1.2 version 2, as in this version, wood would burn forever and never get destroyed. This was fixed not long after in Beta 1.3. Also in Beta 1.2 version 2, players would glitch out when standing on a fence in multiplayer. This would famously be used by griefers such as Team Evolution at the time, would place fences hidden below stairs or slabs where players' hitboxes would still interact with the fences, getting them permanently stuck on them. If a player tried to place a block where they couldn't, for example in a hole like so, the arm used to still swing. More intelligent and sophisticated players would use this exploit at the time, time to swing their arms whilst really close to the subscribe button, thus pressing it and assisting the Mr. Epic in reaching his goal of 600k subscribers. No pressure. Anyways, this was removed in beta 1.4. There was another strange bug with arm swinging as well, whereby if you opened and closed your inventory very quickly after breaking a block, it would cancel the swinging animation until you let go of left click. Now, the wiki actually states that this method could be used in multiplayer to break blocks faster, probably similar to the click mining bug earlier in the video, but I was unable to replicate it, and every time I tried, blocks would just not break. In beta 1.4 version 1, there were some strange bugs relating to trees, whereby they would grow like so, one block above the sapling, and then parts of the tree would disappear and then reappear a few seconds later, over and over. According to the wiki, there also seemed to be a bug related to this whereby saplings would grow trees that stretched to world limit, but I can't find anything about that online and couldn't replicate it myself. However, the coolest bug in Minecraft beta 1.4 is where you could place a water source block next to a double chest and then place another chest in the water source like so. Keep in mind that up until Minecraft 1.13, you couldn't place chests next to one another, and it would merge and create a triple chest, or a quadruple chest, or as many oople chests as you damn well wanted. Now, if you right-clicked the normal sides of the merged chests, it would function as normal, no problems. However, if you right-clicked in the middle or the merged area of the double chests, you can actually see that we've gained an additional 2 bugged rows of chest space. Actually, scratch that, an additional 3 bugged rows of chest space, which can be used. Or have we? I'm going to put an item into the bottom right bugged chest slot here, and look what happens when I open up the chest from the right. It's there in another slot. But if I open up the chest from the left, it's not there at all. Okay, so what happens if I fill up the entire normal chest area in the bugged chest GUI? And how strange would you look at that? Things keep getting weirder as you add more chests, by the way. Truly one of the strangest Minecraft bugs I've seen, which was patched not long after in beta 1.5. A smaller but interesting bug from beta 1.4 was the fact that minecarts would continue to move when a world save was closed. As you can see, we log off and save the world here, and upon relogging, the minecart is a couple blocks in front of us. Let's now talk about some obscure bugs that worked in beta 1.5, but were patched in beta 1.5 version 1. You used to be able to actually place any item you wanted into the output section of the furnace, like so. Whenever you wore a pumpkin on your head, it used to always be facing backwards. Hilariously, the texture in the inventory was also facing backwards as well. The game used to crash whenever you would try to place a normal rail next to a detector rail or vice versa. Early Minecraft players might remember being able to climb up ladders which were placed with a 1-block gap. This was a bug which was also patched in beta 1.5 version 1. But beta 1.5 version 1 also introduced a handful of bugs, notably including one of the most famous dupe glitches that still worked for years after, where you could drop an item on the ground, save the game, re-enter and pick up the items, then immediately crash or close the game with Task Manager and dupe whatever you had thrown on the ground. If you saved and quit a world while sneaking and then relogged, you would fall a block through the ground. If you got too close to a lever or button, you actually couldn't interact with it or activate it. If you dropped a sand block on a boat, it would forever get stuck in a falling animation loop. It would even do damage if a player got in the boat and sometimes wouldn't let them leave the boat, making it an interesting trap method. And speaking of traps, if you placed a block right in front of a dispenser, the dispenser could still shoot items such as arrows through it. A completely invisible trap that would have worked wonders at the time. I hope you didn't like griefers, because in multiplayer, fire could not be put out by players and you would have to wait for it to despawn naturally, or to finish burning your house down. Moving on to beta 1.6, where if you had a full inventory, you could still pick up items, which would appear again whenever you tossed other items out. This technically gave you infinite inventory space, but would eventually bug out and dupe the items like so, causing them to infinitely appear in your inventory. This worked on multiplayer as well, mind you, which I can imagine left some very confused players at the time. Notch would quickly release beta 1.6.1 to patch this bug. And in the same version, beta 1.6, furnaces used to randomly drop their items when fuel was put into them, and this could be used to duplicate blocks. In beta 1.7, right-clicking a sheep empty-handed would cause the game to crash. This was fixed in beta 1.7 version 1. I'm sure you all know of the beta 1.7.2 piston dupe by creating a fast redstone clock connected to 2 pistons, one of which is sticky and the other normal, just like this. You could effectively create a conveyor belt-like duping machine. Once activated, both pistons would fire off at slightly different times, and by placing a block like so, you could dupe. There you go, you could now have access to all the resources you could ever desire. Even better, this worked in multiplayer as well. And finally, if you rode a minecart into a 1-block space, logged out while on a server, and then relogged, you would log back in above where you logged out, if there was a space. This exploit was used by griefers at the time as well, to get into locations on servers they weren't meant to, such as when Team Abolition used it to get into an admin's base which was made from bedrock that contained extremely rare items. I'm not sure exactly when this bug was fixed, but it was prevalent throughout most, if not all of beta. And that about wraps it up. Let me know if you want to see another part, talking about alpha or other older bugs. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching.